Hello, Colorado. Today we are going to talk a little bit about tips and tricks for finding qualified doctors and other healthcare professionals. Now, one of the most important things you're going to want to do is to make sure that the doctor, hospital, or other healthcare professional is in network for your particular insurance plan. And the best place to start off is always going to be the insurance carrier's website. Now, the mistake that many people make is they will simply call the doctor's office and ask, as an example, do you guys take Anthem? And the risk with that is, for one thing, they're probably going to say yes because Anthem's got a huge network. But the problem with that approach is that unless you're very specific about the name of the network, you're probably going to get misleading information. As an example with Anthem, if you're getting an individual or family plan, the correct question would be, do you take the Anthem Pathways HMO network? With Cigna, you would want to ask if they take the Cigna Connect EPO network. With Bright Health, you'd want to make sure they're a Centura Health provider and would take the Bright Health insurance coverage, and so on and so forth for all the different health insurance companies. So you need to be very specific if you're talking to a doctor in regard to the name of the network, which should appear on your insurance ID card. Now, as I mentioned, it's always good to go to the carrier's website and do a search from there. And that's particularly useful when we're shopping for insurance to hopefully find out that the doctors that you're seeing are going to be in network for the desired new plan. Now, here's the catch. While the carriers make every effort to keep those websites up to date, the network information that you're finding online, or even if you call the insurance carrier or the doctor's office for that matter, is going to be true for that day. And networks can and do change. There's nothing that you, I, or the insurance company can do if a doctor decides to discontinue participating in a given insurance company network. That's their right to do so. So be aware that the network information that you're looking at is, it should be correct for a moment in time, but it may not hold true in the future. And frankly, that's just beyond our control. I've got some clients who will follow up after we check it online. Sometimes they'll call and ask the office administrator if they are aware of any changes to the network that doctor might be making. That's a great idea. But again, the website is probably the most useful tool for making sure that a doctor is in network, at least at that moment in time. So another thing that we run into frequently is people may have moved, or sometimes their doctor retires or the doctor moves, and people find themselves in a situation of having to find a new doctor. So certainly it's always a good place to start off at the insurance carrier website to take a look at the nearby medical professionals. But we don't necessarily just want to go to the first doctor that's closest to our home zip code. What I like to do is I like to follow up and cross-check those names to find the doctor that's going to hopefully be the best one. It never hurts to talk to friends and neighbors and get some personal advice, assuming those doctors are in network. But here's some additional resources for you. One place you can go to is the Colorado Division of Insurance. And the Colorado Division of Insurance has a website where you can just Google Colorado Division of Insurance. And they have at their website, they have a query where you can go through and look up doctors to see, and as well as other healthcare professionals, nurses, etc., You can look up the healthcare professional to see if they have any disciplinary actions to make sure that they have a active license. Certainly that's a good idea. Sometimes it also helps to take a look at online reviews. Often I will simply Google the doctor's name and see if I can find any reviews via Google. Another resource that people commonly use is WebMD, and that's just webmd.com, and they have a tool where you can put in the zip code and you can just do a general search for doctors by zip code, or you can look up specific doctors that you may have found in the list from your insurance company. And ideally, you want to find one that's got good reviews. And by the way, when it comes to reviews, and you probably know this just from looking up restaurants, but the more reviews, the better. Statistically, if you see a doctor with quite a few reviews, that's going to probably be more, you're going to have more confidence in that than a doctor that just has 1 5-star review. I'd rather see a doctor with 24-star reviews on average. That would be a more trustworthy source. And again, Google is probably, that's always something I always check as well. Another resource in Denver is the 5280 magazine's Top Docs. Many of those doctors are in the Metro Denver area, but that's how I found one of my doctors that I was very happy with. Is I started off with 5280 and then cross-referenced those general practitioners against my insurance carrier list until I found one that was in my insurance company's network and who was accepting new patients. So that's yet another way to do it. So anyways, and then you can do the same thing with hospitals too, because remember, you typically have more than one option for non-emergency care for hospitals. And different hospitals have different quality metrics, and they can have different quality metrics for different procedures. There are online tools where you can look up hospitals to check their mortality rate for a given procedure. Obviously, we'd prefer to go to a hospital with a lower mortality rate because that's going to increase your odds of coming out of the hospital after that procedure happy and healthy. And also they have some metrics where you can look at infection rates and things like that. Of course, these are all averages. There's no guarantees in life, but it is always a good idea to do some research and to figure out, who's going to give you the best odds of having a positive experience with a doctor, a facility, or any other type of healthcare service provider. Anyways, hope that's been helpful to you. If you're interested in getting some health insurance quotes, my company, Colorado Health Insurance Brokers, will be very happy to help you. We're online at coloradohealthinsurancebrokers.com. A quicker way to get to the free quote tool is just simply to type in www.betterwaycolorado.com. Again, www.betterwaycolorado.com. And from that web page, you can get quotes for yourself, for your family, or if you're a business owner, we can also assist in reviewing health insurance options, whether you have a group health insurance policy in place, or maybe you are just considering setting up a small business group plan for the very first time. We work with all the major carriers in the state. Our services are absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a penny to use a health insurance broker. And that's true whether you're buying insurance for yourself as an individual, for your family, or for a small business with 2 to 49 employees. Again, that website is www.betterwaycolorado, and hope you have a terrific day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.